In March of 1954, a woman sat in a room that no longer exists. No cameras, no audience, just a desk, a chair, and a man watching closely. She was placed under deep hypnosis, the kind where your thoughts don't just slow down, they step aside, where something else has room to speak. A pencil was placed in her hand, and she was given a simple instruction: write. And she did. What happened next is not a story someone told. It's documented, recorded, filed away. CIA file number 00190703. Declassified in 1983. Still sitting on their website today. The document describes something called automatic writing. But that phrase doesn't really capture what happened. Because this wasn't random. This wasn't scribbling. This was communication from a part of her she could not access while awake. The document states, following the usual procedure for obtaining automatic writing, each subject was instructed upon the placing of a pencil in their hand to write. And in each instance, the individual participating wrote a cryptic message. A message, not noise, not nonsense, a message. When she was brought out of hypnosis, she looked down at the page, and she couldn't read it. She didn't recognize the handwriting. She didn't understand the meaning. The report says she was amazed and startled. Think about that for a second. Your hand moves, your mind is silent, something inside you speaks, and when you wake up, you have no memory of it. So they put her back under, and this time, they didn't ask her to write. They asked her to translate, to read, what her own hand had already said. And she could, flawlessly. She understood every word, every meaning, every layer, like it had always been hers, because it was. Then they woke her up again, and just like that, it was gone. No memory, no understanding, nothing. But this is the part that stays with me. After the session ended, someone reviewed what she had written, a censor, a name we will never know. They looked at her words and made a decision. The document records it like this. In view of the personal nature of the messages, they will not be included in this log. Not classified, not restricted, removed, because they were personal. Let that land. Something came through her, something real enough to be documented, clear enough to be translated, and it was erased. Not because it wasn't important, but because it was too intimate. We will never know what she wrote. We will never know what part of her came through that pencil. But we do know this. She walked out of that room without her own words. And I keep thinking about that, because this isn't just about her. This is about something we recognize, that feeling of having something inside you that doesn't feel safe to say out loud, something real, something honest, something that feels like it matters, but gets pushed down anyway. Not by the government, by life, by people, by moments where you learned, this part of me isn't welcome here. So you adjust, you filter, you soften, you hold things in, until eventually you forget what you were trying to say in the first place. Not because it wasn't real, but because it never had space to exist. And maybe that's the part of this story that matters most. Not the hypnosis, not the experiment, but the fact that something deeply human can surface so clearly and still be dismissed. So here's something you can do with this. Take a piece of paper or your phone and write. Not for clarity, not for structure, just write. Let your hand move without stopping, without editing, without deciding if it makes sense. Say the thing you've been holding back, the thing that feels too personal, too much, too real. Then close it. Don't read it right away. give it space. And when you come back to it, you might recognize something. Not perfectly, not all at once, but enough to know it came from somewhere real. We don't know her name. We don't know what she wrote, but we know she was there. We know something moved through her. And we know what it feels like to have something inside us that never quite made it into the official version of our lives. So tonight, we remember her. Not as a file, not as an experiment, but as someone who showed us that there is more inside us than we are usually allowed to say. And maybe the point isn't to prove where it comes from. Maybe the point is to finally listen. Because what's in you was never too much. It was just never given the space to be heard. As we close this file and let the candle burn low, we carry with us what we uncovered together, the truth we sat with, the woman we remembered, the part of ourselves we reclaimed. This is why we do this, not to live in fear of what was hidden, but to witness it, to learn from it, and to let it transform us into something more whole. If this resonated with you, come find us beyond the archive. Follow @ProNotPer for more real talk, and visit www.samanthabushika.com to join our growing community of lightworkers, survivors, and soul shifters. We are building something here, a space where empathy is strength, where questions are welcome, and where we prove together that the truth will always find its way to the light by those brave enough to seek it. Let's keep proving them all wrong, together. Until next time, my lovelies.